Hey, Nadine, are you still alive? You're not sleeping on the street in a cardboard box, are you? I hope you didn't end up in Skid Row. You know, I always look around very carefully when I happen to encounter a homeless person while I walk or drive by the street. I wonder if it might be you, but it's never you. I feel sorry that you are not very noticeable, because if you are, I would like to throw you some coins or something when I run into you. Are you living on the street in a different neighborhood now because you're afraid of running into me and my wealthy husband? You don't have to be embarrassed. You didn't become homeless because you wanted to. It was just that there was no other choice. I understand and empathize with your situation. It's important to recognize that homelessness can happen to anyone. However, I used to enjoy seeing you being miserable, penniless and homeless, and sleeping in the park in front of my house. It was the most exciting part of my day. But suddenly, you disappeared, and it's become boring without you around. How can I see you again? I miss seeing you. On days like today, when the snow falls softly, I can't help but think of you. I remember you shivering in your ragged clothes, begging on the cold ground. I guess you're doing the same thing somewhere else at this moment. It's sad I can't witness such an exciting moment.
Oh, hey Natalie. I am so grateful that you still remember and miss me. It has been more than 5 years since that happened, right? You haven't changed a bit, even as time passed and you grew older. It's astonishing how consistent you are in your personality and character. You still have that same arrogance and recklessness, and there's no one quite as shameless as you. It truly amazes me.
Well, that's not the only thing that has not changed. My beauty is even more dazzling than it was 5 years ago. Wait, you're talking to me! I was just rambling because I was bored and didn't expect a response. I thought you blocked my number.
I did, but I unblocked it. Happy?
Why did you unblock me? You shouldn't have blocked me in the first place if you wanted to unblock me again. Oh, I know why you unblocked me. That's it. You wanted to reach out to me for my help if you happen to struggle to survive, didn't you? When you have nothing to feed yourself and are about to starve to death, right? Why the hell did you think I would help you? Just because I'm your older sister? Well, you were completely mistaken. I have absolutely no intention of helping you. I don't know you anything, and I'm not obligated to help you just because you're my little sister.
Don't worry about that. I don't think of you as my older sister anymore, so I don't need your help. You never treated me like family because if you did, there was no way you could have done such a thing. The only reason I unblocked you is because I desperately wanted to hear you cry and mourn in sadness. I wanted to hear your pitiful cry when you eventually fall and scream in despair. I wanted to see tears of blood running down your disgusting face. You pushed me over the edge and laughed at me melting down. And I didn't forget about you even for a second for the past 5 years. You were my dream and the reason why I kept breathing. Can't you see? I'm very excited to be talking to you again.
Look at you. You have become quite impressive, haven't you? You were scared and afraid of me since you were very little. Now you dare to talk to me like this after I gave you freedom for more than 5 years? I guess you forgot what I was capable of. I should make you remember. Don't you agree? I let you keep on breathing because I thought I ruined your life bad enough that you won't be able to be back on your feet ever again. What is this ominous premonition that you have grown even greener and fresher instead of dying? Should I have killed you instead of keeping you alive? Tell me right now. Tell me where you are and what you're doing. I will kill you this time so you won't ever dare to talk to me again.
You still have that dirty habit of trying to take what's mine. You always try to take for free what I tried so hard to get. You should find out yourself if you're dying to know where I am and what I am doing. You took all Mom and Dad's love away with all sorts of lies and slander when we were little. And you had to make what's mine yours from my clothes, bags, shoes, even pencils and books to underwear. When we got a little older, you intervened in the middle of my relationship and interrupted me every time I had a boyfriend, and eventually, you snatched my husband from me and messed up my life. And yet you don't seem to be sorry or remorseful for what you did. I can't believe you're still the same person from the past. You and I grew up in the same house, and I know who you are. I never expected an apology from you, but I didn't expect you to be so shameless either. You make me speechless. I completely gave up on you to that consistent cruelty without a single drop of blood or tear from the moment I was born until now.
I guess you weren't even able to imagine getting back at me as you were completely destroyed by me. Alright. There's always a bright side to every story. I actually feel great to hear that. Do you have the slightest idea of how my teenage years were? I don't think so. Someone like you would never understand how I felt. My teenage years were literally a living hell. You were my little sister, yet you were smarter and prettier than me. You had more friends than I did. You were loved by so many boys, and even teachers loved you. And me, I was the complete opposite. I wasn't loved by friends or boys, and I wasn't a smart cookie. I was barely a C student. You can't imagine how I must have felt as your older sister. I wanted to kill myself seeing you were outstanding in every way compared to me. So I thought to myself, why is it that you seem to have everything while I don't? I couldn't help but compare myself to you and feel incompetent. After much contemplation, I realized that the root cause of all of my problems was you. When I realized what the problem was, I knew I had to do something. So I decided to take all you got. I was determined to take everything from you and make you miserable. I wanted you to feel what I have been feeling. Well, I thought I wouldn't be able to do that with my ugly face, despite how much I wanted to do so. But I guess not. I was able to make my dreams come true, probably because I desperately wanted it and God was touched. When my husband told me my ugly face will bring his luck to the fullest, unlike your pretty face, which you got bored of only after a few months, I thought my heart was popping out of my chest. He was the first person ever to value me higher than you other than Mom and Dad. So then I mustered up the courage to pursue him and devoted all my energy and effort to making him mine. It wasn't easy, but I wanted to make you miserable so badly. I took every opportunity to show him my affection and care, and I tried my best to be understanding and supportive. Through ups and downs, I never gave up on my pursuit until he finally reciprocated my feelings and became my husband. It was a challenging journey, but it was worth it if it would make you despairing and devastated. I was good, wasn't I?
Did you start talking to me to talk about useless crap that already happened? I put my past behind me, and I have moved on. It's something I don't want to recall anymore. Is it really so hard for you to live quietly, feeling ashamed of a relationship that can't even be declared as a legal marriage?
Don't you know it's a common law marriage as long as he and I live together, even if it can't be legally registered?
I don't give a crap about if it is a common law marriage or a legal marriage. If you don't have anything else to do, just take a nap and stop talking to me.
A homeless person like you may need to take naps during the day as a necessity due to the continuous noise that never stops day and night, and the lack of work to exhaust you. But the wife of a wealthy man like me is different. I have such a hectic schedule every day. I need to stop by the beauty shop to get my hair and makeup done, luxury goods stores, and yoga classes. I can't spare to take a nap during the day since I'm busier than anyone else during the daytime.
Oh my goodness. You are not worth my time and energy, and I'm tired of listening to your crap. Let's stop right here. I'm actually very busy having tons of work to do, unlike you who has all the time in the world.
You're hilarious! How can a homeless person be possibly busy? Are you too busy picking up scraps left by others who are not homeless to eat? Scavenging for coins that are thrown in your tattered dog food bowl? It's truly pathetic and pitiful that you're doing that during the daytime when everyone else is busy living their lives. Your life is truly unfortunate. Speaking of your pathetic life, I have found a way to help you. I'm such a nice sister to help her little sister, aren't I? Mom and Dad are worried about you even after what happened to you. You should consider visiting them when you can, not only to show them how much you care about them, but also receive the love and affection that you might not have experienced before. It might be a good opportunity for you to reconcile with them and start anew.
Did you say Mom and Dad? What kind of mom and dad? I don't have parents. They made me sure I was their unwanted daughter by verbally and physically abusing me ever since I was very young. They never provided proper education for me and even sent me off to work at a restaurant when I was barely in high school. Can those people be called parents? Because it became a habit for them to force me to give up everything I had to you. They supported you when you stole my husband from me. They rather blamed me that it was my fault for not being smart enough to keep my husband. They creeped me out by saying it didn't matter whose husband he is since he is their son-in-law one way or the other. They don't deserve to be my parents. They are sick. When I was kicked out of the house without a penny after being betrayed by you guys, I went to Mom and Dad to ask for their help. Do you know how they were? They refused to help me and turned me away at the door, saying they wouldn't give a single grain of rice or a sip of water to a fool who wasn't able to keep her husband. That's how I ended up homeless in a park. I cried endlessly, sitting on a bench in the park where the biting wind was raging and the cold was seeping into my bones. I should have had a family to turn to when I was hurt and abandoned, but they were the ones who hurt and betrayed me and rejected me. I felt like there was no point in keeping myself alive anymore. It seemed like no one in this world was on my side, and I wanted to give up everything.
Well, here you are, not dead and still alive, right? You should forget what happened in the past and move on, shouldn't you? You should pay back to your parents who gave birth to you and raised you. You wouldn't have come to this world and had a life until today if it wasn't for them. Mom and Dad were always healthy, but their health declined so rapidly during the past couple of months. They need someone to take care of them. Dad can't move or speak freely after suffering a stroke a while ago. Mom has undergone breast cancer surgery and her energy has greatly decreased since then. She's having a hard time lately.
They're finally punished for what they did to me, which they deserved apparently.
What the hell did you say?
People say every kid is significant to a mother, but they were cold-hearted people who rejected their own daughter so cruelly. It's obvious that God was furious with how they treated me, so he punished them. They should admit that they deserve that.
How can you be so heartless to your parents? The relationship between parents and children is what God made for you. Aren't you afraid of the punishment if you refuse them like this? Can't you understand that I'm doing you a favor for you to make it up to your parents by allowing you to take care of them before they pass away?
You should take care of them if you feel sorry for them. You can do yourself a favor if that's what you think. Why are you insisting on giving me an opportunity when you know they loved you with all their hearts and hated me with all their being?
What do you mean I should do it? Why should I do such disgusting things? Dad is in a diaper, which means I need to change his diapers whenever he pees or poos and clean him up. That's so disgusting. I can never do that. I don't cook or clean my own house. And how do you expect me to do that at someone else's house?
You had all the love they offered, yet you're not grateful for them or their love? It's your chance to pay back what they gave you.
I'm saying it's a different story. I'm telling you, I can never take care of them whatsoever, so you should.
Why should I do that again when you're the loved one and I wasn't?
Because you're homeless and not married? You need a place to live anyway, don't you? You can stay at Mom and Dad's house while taking care of them. Doesn't that sound like a good deal?
Who said that?
Who said what?
Who said I'm homeless and not married? I'm happier than anyone else on the planet after marrying the love of my life. His love is sincere and he loves me more than anything in the world. He's not like someone who betrayed me and tossed me away for another woman.
What the hell are you talking about? How is that even possible for you to get married again when you lived in the park after you were thrown off to the street by me and my husband? Oh, I think I know what happened. You must have met someone who was also sleeping in the park. Did you meet another homeless and you two got married? That's so pathetic and unbelievably funny. Two homeless individuals formed romantic partnerships, got married, had children, and raised them while continuing to live on the streets. How do you even feed them? By begging or going through trash or something? I feel so sorry for your children. They deserve better than that. You know what? I'll do you another favor. You can take your husband and children with you when you come to Mom and Dad's house to take care of them. How does that sound? It sure sounds like a good deal for all of you. You should take the chance while you can.
I wonder what's in your brain that makes you say such amazing things. I would like to study your brain if I could.
I should have a higher IQ and be smarter than you at least. You lost your husband to me like an idiot, remember? Don't be arrogant and do as I say. You don't have to pretend as if you have your little life already.
What if everything I'm telling you is true and I don't want to take care of them?
I'll hire some people to exterminate cockroaches like you.
Ouch. You're threatening me now, which is not scary at all.
Don't you think I can't do it? My husband, whom I snatched from you, got promotion after promotion, and now he's the CEO of a company. And he could have been the CEO because of me. He saved his company that was about to go out of business, and he recognized my assistance. It's not a big deal for us to ruin your miserable life when we are socially prestigious. If you want to avoid ending up in a situation where you are trampled and unable to get back on your feet forever, you better listen to me.
I wanted to get back at you someday because it was so unfair that I was kicked out without receiving any alimony. However, there was still a conflict deep down inside me because you are my sister. Now you're being a fool who is pointing a gun at yourself. I guess I don't need to feel the slightest bit of guilt anymore. You're dead meat. I'll ask my husband to destroy your boyfriend's company completely so that he won't be able to recover forever.
What did you say? My boyfriend?
Do you actually believe he is your husband when you can't legally marry him? What a stupid jerk. I don't understand how you can call him my husband so easily. You don't even know what embarrassment is. If it were me, I wouldn't be able to say such words because I would be too ashamed. You know, people talk about us. I think you knew already, but decided to ignore it. People point their fingers at you for stealing your little sister's husband and at Mom and Dad for still supporting you after what happened. Theo was my husband, but he can't be your husband. He is nothing more than your boyfriend with whom you live together. Just keep on living your life deluding yourself as his wife when you can be nothing more than his girlfriend. What a shame.
Cut the crap! Tell me what you're talking about. What do you mean by destroying my husband's company? What have you got to say such things?
Are you enjoying being the girlfriend of the CEO and his company will go out of business soon enough if my husband doesn't provide a contract for him? Theo was such a fool who fell for a company that only has a pile of debts instead of a future or hopes. I can't believe he fell for it so easily when my husband told him that he'll hand it over to him. His brain is nothing more than an empty can as he delightfully took it over, not realizing it was almost non-salvageable. I actually thank him for being stupid. He made my revenge come true.
Are you serious? Does his company have a ton of debts? You never told me such a thing. What are we going to do now? We took over the company with the funds we got from our home equity line of credit for $1 million. How are we supposed to pay it back when all we have to do is pay off the debt instead of making money? You know what? That's why you are here talking to me. You can help me, right? We can still make it work if you talk to your husband to continue to provide a contract for Theo. We're not strangers. You will help me, won't you?
Honestly, I didn't mean to discontinue the contract so soon. I didn't convince myself if it was the right thing to do since you were my sister. I wasn't sure even after what you did to me. On the other side of my mind, I wondered if I should cut it off after you have made some achievements so you will be even more devastated for losing everything you accomplished. I thought it would hurt you more if you got more to lose. I wanted you to feel exactly how I felt after I was abandoned by my own family. I wanted you to know how betrayal and rejection would make you feel.
I mean, how could a homeless person like you marry such a great man in the first place? You're lying to screw me around, aren't you?
My husband was a warm-hearted person who handed me a bowl of hot soup when I was sleeping in the park. He showed interest in me and asked me why I was crying in the park during this cold winter. He even gave me a job at his company to help me. He saved my life, and I owed it to him. He was hurt when he was abandoned by his parents and placed in an orphanage when he was barely in elementary school after his parents got divorced. He went through his hardships while he was in the orphanage, but overcame them and made his way to where he is right now. He had another hard time after he got married due to his wife's infidelity. He held it in because he didn't want to pass on the legacy of his parents' divorce to his child, but eventually ended up getting the divorce despite all his efforts. He was hurt again because of his own divorce. We sympathized with each other in a similar situation and gradually became closer. And now we are happily married with his child. I'm more than 1,000 times happier than you. So don't you dare talk about what happiness is to me ever again.
Nadine, I'm begging you on my knees. I admit that my husband and I hurt you so much, and I'm so sorry. I apologize deeply for what we did. I did something I shouldn't have done out of jealousy. I purposely took your husband away, knowing that Mom and Dad would take my side whatsoever. I was wrong, and I'm so sorry that I hurt you. However, no matter how I hurt you, we're still a family. We have the same blood and same parents. My husband and I will be buried in debt and lose everything. Our house, our company, if you don't help us. I need your help more than anything in the world. So please help us. I'm saying I'm sorry. I'll do anything for you if you could help me. So can you please forgive us? I know it's too late, but I still want to ask for your forgiveness. Please, Nadine. You're the one who can help us.
I don't care if you'll be buried in debt or end up sleeping in the park. Go away. I'm done talking to you. After what happened, I heard that my older sister and my ex-husband eventually had to close down their business and were burdened with debts. Their house was auctioned off, and they had nowhere to go, so they ended up returning to my parents' house. They couldn't avoid taking care of our ill parents in their small apartment, even though they tried to avoid it at all costs. I heard they have various part-time jobs whenever they have time between caregiving duties to pay off their massive debt. My sister and parents called and begged for my help, but I blocked their numbers so I won't have to talk to them ever again. It's ironic that they're asking for my help after they rejected and abandoned me. I'm sorry that our relationship as a family led us to meet, but it ultimately ended in a tragic fate.